Morning students, I am continuing the first chapter. Today's topic is estimation. Estimation is an approximation of a value. For example, if your mother asks you to buy some grocery items from a shop, before going to shop, she will estimate the cost of items. For example, it might be rupees 95. So, she will round off it to rupees 100 and will give you rupees 100. More examples of estimation. Let us see some news headlines in newspaper. Approximate 5,000 people went to witness the march. Here word approximate is used. It means 5,000 is not the exact count, but it is nearest to the exact count. It could be 4,900 or 5,100 or 5,200. Second example, approximately 2,000 people were killed and more than 50,000 injured in a cyclonic storm in coastal areas of India and Bangladesh. Here also approximate count is given, not exact count is given. Next, over 13 million passengers are carried over 63,000 kilometer route of railway track every day. And here also almost exact count is given, not correct count. So the quantities given in the examples are not exact counts but are estimates to give an idea of the quantity. Let's start estimating to the nearest tens by rounding off. Example, round off 17 to the nearest tens. We know 17 is between 10 and 20 and 17 is closer to 20 than 10. So we will round off it to 20. Example number 2, round off 12 to the nearest tens. We know 12 is between 10 and 20 and 12 is more closer to 10 than 20. So round off 12 to 10. The numbers 1, 2, 3 and 4 are nearer to number 0 than to 10. So we'll round off 1, 2, 3 and 4 as 0. For example, 82. 82 is between 80 and 90. And 82 is more closer to 80 than 90. So we will round off it to 80. Number in the unit digit, it is 2 and it is more closer to 0. So we will round off it to 0. Number 6, 7, 8 and 9 are nearer to 10. So we round off them as 10. Here example 76. In this 6 is the unit digit and it is closer to 10 than 0. So we will round off 76 to 80. We have discussed numbers less than 5 and more than 5. And now 5. 5 is equidistant from both 0 and 10. So it is a common practice to round off it off as 10. Example 35. 35 nearest 10 is 40. So we will round off it to 40. More examples of round off to the nearest tens. First one, 215. 215 is between 210 and 220. Last digit is 5 and we round off it to nearest 10. So 220 is the answer. Next question, 1453. 1453. We will round off it to tens place. So 1453 is between 1450 and 1460. And the digit 3 is nearer to 0 than 10. So we will round off it to 1450. 1453 is more closer to 1450. Next question, 2936. The numbers in the tens place is 36, ones place is 6. 6 is more closer to 10 than 0. So we will round off it to 10. and 36 is between 30 and 40. So we will round off it to 2940. Next is estimating to the nearest hundreds by rounding off. In this case, we will consider number in the 100 place and tens place. Round off 310 to the nearest 100. So 310 is between 300 and 400. And we know 310 is more closer to 300 than 400. So it will be rounded off to 300. Next example, 889 to the nearest 100. We have to round off it. 889 is between 800 and 900. And we know 889, it is more closer to 900. So it is rounded off to 900. When it comes to estimating, the rules are different for rounding off to 10, 100 and 1000. If a number is rounding off to nearest 10, the last digit will determine whether it is nearest to 0 or 10. When it is rounding off to nearest 100, the last two digits will determine whether it is nearer to 0 or 100. When a number is rounding off to 1000, the last three digits will determine whether it is nearer to 0 or 1000. While rounding off to nearest 100, check last two digits, that is from tens place. If the given digits are between 1 and 49, they are closer to 0. So we will round it off it to 0. Example 739. 39 is closer to 0 than 100. So we will round it to 0. Therefore 739 will rounded off to 700. If the last two digits are between 51 and 99, they are closer to 100. So we will round it off to 100. Example 9270. Here 70 is closer to 100 than 0. So we will round it off it to 100. Therefore 9270 will round it to 9300. We have discussed numbers from 1 to 49 and 51 to 99. Now number 50. If the last two digit is 50, the 50 is equidistant from 0 and 100, and it is a common practice to round it off it to 100. Therefore 5750, last two digit is 50, we will round it to 100, and 750 is in between 700 and 800. It will round it to nearest 100, and that is 5800. Next is estimating to the nearest thousands by rounding off. Round off 3684 to the nearest thousands. In this, 3684 is between 3000 and 4000. So it will rounded off to 4000. While rounding off to nearest thousand, check last three digits, number starting from hundreds place. Here 205. If the last three digits is between 1 and 499, they will round it to 0. Here 7205 and 205. It is nearer to 0. So we will round it to 0. Therefore 7205 will round it to 7000. If the last three digits are between 501 to 999, they will round it to 1000 because they are closer to 1000. Example 2573. It is 573 is the last three digits, and they are between 501 and 999. So we will round it to nearest 1000. 2573. It is between 2000 and 3000. So we will round it to 3000. While rounding off to nearest 1000, if the last 3 digit is 500, it will be rounded off to 1000. For example, 6500. Here last 3 number is 500. So it will rounded off to nearest 1000, and nearest 1000 of 6500 is 7000. Let's see an example. 6294. It is rounding off to nearest 10. And while rounding off to nearest 10, we will check the last digit 4. If 4 is in between 0 and 10 and it is more closer to 0, we will round off it to 0. And we know 94 is between 90 and 100. So we will round off it to nearest 0 and it is 6290. Next, 6294 round off to nearest 100. 2094 is in between 200 and 300 and it is near to 300. So we will round off it to 6300. Similarly, 6294 round off to 1000. 6294 is in between 6000 and 7000 and it is more closer to 6000 than 7000. So we will round off it to 6000. So round off to tens, hundreds and 1000 example is given. Today we have discussed what is estimation, how to round off a number to nearest tens, 100 and 1000. For more detailed videos and textbook, please log in into the links of Diksha and Extra Maths.